I remember one day I was at Grandpa's farm and I asked him about sex. He sort of smiled and said, maybe instead of telling you what sex is, why don't we go out to the horse pasture and I'll show you? So we did, and there on the ground were my parents having sex. Jack Candy Deep Thoughts, you son of a bee, every time. So, anyways, I know what you guys are thinking. Bucky, that's great and all, but shouldn't you be teaching us about like else if or something? Well, yes and no. You see, now on with the tutorial. In the last tutorial, I taught you guys about else if, and it's a really neat syntax, very, very handy. So handy, in fact, and so commonly used that even though it's incredibly simple, Objective-C made an even simpler way to test multiple values and conditions and stuff like that. So, quite often, you have a variable and you want to test what it's equal to. So, for example, you have age. You want to test if it's equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so on and so on. Well, you want to do something different for each age that it's equal to. So you can do if, else if, else if, else if, else, or you can do something called a switch. Now, what a switch does is it doesn't whip you like some people think, or it doesn't turn on the lights on enough. No, not that kind of switch either. What it does is it takes a variable, which is also called like a condition, I think, or an expression. Sorry, it's a variable, and it tests it against several different values, and depending on the value it has a certain statement it executes. So enough of me talking. Let's just go ahead and get building this program I was just talking about. So put int age equals like 3 or something. Actually, let's put 2. I like 2 a lot better than 3. So we can, if we want to test what age is equal to, even though we already know what it's equal to, say we didn't know what it was equal to, we want to make a program to do something different for the numbers like 1 to 4. And then if it's not either of those, do something else. So let's go ahead, and in order to test one variable, what we do is do this. We would put switch, and now you can see the outline for it right now. Now for expression, you write what variable do you want to test. And the different cases are the different things it can be equal to. The constant would be the thing that didn't change, like 1, 2, 3, or 4. And the default would be the thing that if you enter like 99, if all your cases didn't get matched, then what do you want your program to do by default? So if it like tests 1, 2, and 3, and you enter 99, it's like, what the F do I do now? You got to give it something to do. And break, what do these breaks mean? Well, after you test it and it comes across a positive result that it actually matches, you don't want it to keep testing all the other results because you already found your answer. So that's where break comes in. What break means is, alright, I'm going to break out of this program. I already found my answer. If you didn't, and say you entered the age for 1, you don't need to test 3, 4, 5. If you didn't have that break, it would test 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So why do you put a break in? I mean, what's the harm? Well, it takes a lot of your memory and more time to execute. If you just find your answer and exit the switch, it saves a lot of time and memory. That's all I'm going to say. So let's go ahead and get building this program. Now that I gave you guys a background, you can actually see a program in use. So switch, let's go ahead and test age. Now let's go ahead in your brackets, because we're going to be executing more than one code. Let's see, in case age is equal to 1, and go ahead and put semicolon, and again, 1 is your constant. What do we want to do? ns log, let's go ahead and put something stupid. 1, what if age is equal to 1? They are cute. This is like a baby test or something. 1, it's pretty cute. And now we want to break. If we came across 1 and age was equal to 1, no need to test 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. We already find our answer. Let's break out of the switch. So it would execute they are cute and break. So let's go ahead and do this a couple times. Let's see, copy 2, 3, 4. That would be good. So let's go ahead and test if age is equal to 1, 2, 3, and 4. So in the case of 2, if age is equal to 2, we write they are terrible. Terrible twos. In the case of 3, right, they are thirsty or something. Thirsty threes? I don't know what to call them. And they are 4, I don't know, just right, they are 4. You get nothing special if you're 4, kid. So now what this program is going to do is we already gave it a condition to test. It tests age. And by that we mean switch age. And what switch means is, alright, going to give you a block of code and a bunch of cases. Whatever age is equal to, do that bit of code. So if it's equal to 1, do this bit of code. If it's equal to 3, do this bit of code. If it's equal to 4, do this bit of code. But now your computer program is like, alright, I'm going to test this, but if it's not equal to 1, 2, 3, or 4, you got to give me something to do. Well, that's what we're going to do right now. Whenever it tests all of its cases and it still hasn't found its answer, we need to give it a default program to run. Right there. And in order to do that, just go ahead and write default, and let's give it something to run. Default nslog, but like, that isn't a kid. It's a effing teenager. You know, gotta make it kind of dramatic, and then break out of that. So let's go ahead and run this, and maybe we'll see what's going on. So build and run, save all. In the age of 2, they are terrible, like that. Now let's go ahead and change it. So what happened? Well, let me change this one more time. Change this to 3, build and run, save. Now age is equal to 3, and it says they are thirsty, and I forgot the T. So what happens is you have a variable named age, and it's equal to 3. Switch age means test the age variable. So it tests it, and it says in the case of 1, if age is 1, do this. Well, it wasn't. It said they are thirsty, not they are cute. In the case of 2, do this. Was it 2? No. In the case of 3, do this. They are thirsty. So that's why your program executed the code, they are thirsty, because it tested this, and tested this, and it says, alright, it is actually 3, so that's why I'm going to execute this bit of code, and then once I'm done, I'm going to break out of it. No need to even test this or this. I already found my answer. It's time to take a break, run on my next bit of computer programming code. And again, let me just show you guys, if it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, put like 99, it's going to run the default, and it's going to say, that isn't a kid, it's an effing teenager. Ah! So, you know, that's what the default is for. If all your cases are wrong, it has to run something by default. So that's the basics of a switch and what it does. And again, the else if is useful when you're testing like a condition less than greater than, and a switch is really useful when you're testing if a variable is exactly equal to like 1, exactly equal to 3, not like between the range of 3 and 8. So that's your basics of a switch, like I said. I hope you enjoyed my program. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to check my blog. And that's it. Enough of me talking. I'll see you next tutorial.